All right, mic check, mic check. We're going to try this again a second time. Hopefully the mic's working. Give me a thumbs up in the comments. We'll get started right away. Just going to make sure this streams up on omniflix.tv, YouTube, and X.
Richard, you're up.
So my wish is that we get to a place where there's a regulatory framework such that we can deploy blockchain throughout capital markets. I believe it's a better technology for what we're trying to do. You have, with blockchain, you have a complete record of securities ownership and transaction history, and it's designed for transfer of value. So much of the things that we do in equities, fixed income, and so forth today. And the way that we get there, or the way we start to get there, is let's use the blockchain as the official record of ownership for securities. Let's use smart contracts for settlement, and let's use stable coins or tokenized treasuries for the cash leg of security settlements as well. There's three.
Richard, you're up.
So my
All right, welcome to Coreum Concepts, take 2. Let me know if you can hear me. Had to make a couple adjustments. Seems to test okay before I did the stream the second time again. Give me a thumbs up in the comments if all is well. If you need to learn about staking Coreum, what's going on in the Coreum community, DAO and Validator, you can head to the myweb3.me links in the bio or coreumcommunitydao.com. Thank you, Gayendra. Got the confirmation and can be heard this time around. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. And yes, validator issues. I'll do an update with that here shortly. Let's get right into the show. In the meantime, that opening was Richard Johnson from Texture Capital, the recent partner with Sologenic. Cornest Capital will be creating Solotex on the Coreum blockchain. So exciting stuff there. We'll expand on that later. I'm your host, Chris, reporting from the beautiful Christina Lake, British Columbia, on this April 13th, 2025. An exciting week in blockchain. It has been both good and bad. So thank you for joining me here for tonight. If I can leave you some value, please hit the like, share in the comments. This is streaming live on omniflix.tv, X, and YouTube. And I'll answer any questions that come up. The myweb3.me link, if you have not seen the powerful landing page available to everybody, free of charge. This is what it looks like here. All the links to social medias can be found there. to Coreum Community DAO, Discord, Telegram, you name it. All updates will be found there. Excited to say this Wednesday you can find me appearing on Stone's Coffee and Crypto in the morning, 6 a.m. Eastern time. Or no, 6 p.m. Pacific time, my time, I guess, on Wednesday. And we'll be talking about Coreum RWA tokenization. And I'll remind everybody on the XRPL that hasn't bridged their XCore or Coreum tokens on how to do that, why to do that, and offer any assistance if needed. I'm going to do a short, crisp tutorial video on bridging to the Coreum network off the XRPL. Can use an updated one. It's been a while, so stay tuned for that. I'll try and have that ready for Wednesday morning. This morning, earlier today, I should say, on the Superledger podcast, episode number 74, we had Coreum Labs on the show. Elwin came by, gave us a great update from the Paris Blockchain Week, what Coreum Labs is working on, the cruise control product that we've recently learned about, and Corecast, the prediction market coming to Coreum. So exciting stuff. We'll touch on that here a little bit, but I encourage you to listen to the replay. A lot of value exchanged in that episode today. I did stream it on OmniFlix also. All right, we'll take a quick look at the markets. It's been a while. You can see some volatility has returned. This is in the weekly chart for some perspective from 30,000 feet maybe. Total crypto market cap is sitting at 2.66 trillion. We'll flip back over to the daily chart for the rest of the conversation here. We can see gold trending higher at 32.28 after recent all-time highs have been hit again. Silver, $31.93. DXY is absolutely plummeted, 99.665. Bitcoin's come back, recovering from those local lows of 74,000 roughly, and is currently trading at 85,050. XRP has recovered well at $2.15. Coreum has been holding up strong through all of this. You can see just forming looks like a fairly good sized double bottom there, and is at 13.86 cents, resisting most of this recent volatility quite well. Sologenic is trading at 22 cents, just under. As you can see here, volume extremely low. Pulsera, sorry, this isn't the full lifespan of Pulsera. This is just the last MEXC. It was one of the last ones to list Pulsera, so it's a pretty short history on this one. But you can see Pulsera is trading below 0.005. OmniFlix is, 3.9 cents. I just noticed this here now. What a deal that is. Zebek back under the 0.001 by just a little bit. You can see some volatility there lately too. And Jackal is under 10 cents. Stargaze is just over 0.002. Everything on its local bottoms. Atom, not much difference here. $4.23. Avalanche, $20.20. Hedera, 17 cents. All these were significantly higher just not too long ago. Look at that, back in March. And Omni, $1.85. Ondo, 88 cents. And the story of the day, the chart of the day, yes. My heart goes out to the investors in Ohm. It absolutely tanked, down 90%. on one candle here today. Absolute devastation. Trading back under $1 again at 0.79. Did bounce up. Some bought in at the 50-cent mark. Was able to hit $1 there again, but you can see it is back under $1. Absolute devastation. This was at like $7 just not long ago. Look at that, $8 almost. Just over $9 back in February. Absolutely crushed. So not too sure the actual details on what caused this massive crash. It's just being blamed on liquidations, I think. But man, that's one big candle. So careful out there. That's a big story in the Cosmos ecosystem. Interesting enough, on the podcast leading up to this, we were just saying how Mantra is one of Coreum's few competitors as far as tokenization platforms on the Cosmos ecosystem, and here just minutes later, absolute devastation. So the good news is, there's always a good news story with every bad, is if you're buying the Cosmic Gumballs project, now is the time to move on those. They are priced in ohms, so a heck of a deal there on the Cosmic Gumball machine. If you haven't got any, now would probably be the best time with that. Continuing on, Archway. What's going on here? There we go. Archway is at 0.0113, and Coinbase has recovered from local lows. Also, you see Coinbase dipped down to $142. You can see back in December 2024, $343. So pretty big moves for Coinbase there. Is this a local bottom? We shall see. Last time it was about the same. Looks like we broke the local bottom by just a bit. So, all right. So that's the markets. We will pop in to Pulsera. You can see 1.125 million currently locked up on Pulsera. Just under 30,000 in volume in the last 24 hours, and active stakers at 2,086 on there. No new proposals to speak of at the time. I'll take a quick pause and get into some questions. I see Big Max here, Gertz here, welcome. Gayandra, who is Stone? Stone is he runs a regular morning space on X for the XRPL and related communities. Really good energy, good guy. He's involved in a project himself. Oh, geez, the name escapes me. But yeah, he's been around the XRP community for some time and hosts regular spaces there and brings a lot of value. So happy to be on his show. I was on there not terribly long ago, a few months back, talking about Coreum, and it looks like he's doing another Coreum show. So that's good to see expanding interest from the XRPL community. Long overdue. Any idea when the Coreum DEX is going to mainnet? No. It's sounding like it's going to move from DevNet to testnet here very soon. I'm not too sure how long it will sit there, but we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show, based on what we learned today from L1 at the Superledger podcast. Checking in with the Coreum Validators and network, 426,567,000. Coreum is staked, representing 62.4% of the circulating supply. Currently 2.1 million tokens being undelegated. Current APYs 30% plus. And as some of you have heard. Those that have not, please pay attention. Those that are delegating to Coreum Community DAO, we had a significant event happen Friday night in the early hours, and our validator was unfortunately tombstoned, not just jailed, but tombstoned. Looks like there was a double signing event, and that is about as bad as it can get as far as a validator issue. And unfortunately, tombstone, we had to start up a new validator. So if you are delegating with Coreum Community DAO, unfortunately, you will have to redelegate to another validator. We hope that you will come back over to the Coreum Community DAO, the new one. You can see we're down 55th position, voting power, just under 400,000. Some have had some trouble redelegating. Some have had to unbond, it seems. Not too sure. I didn't have too much problem moving some over there, but unfortunately, that resulted in a slash, and a big one, 5% for a tombstone slash for double signing. So I'll explain about that a little bit further in the video. And as mentioned in the title, we do have a couple other new validators on the network. I forgot to mention one that's been on there for a while. I just haven't done a episode in a while either to introduce some new validators, but we've had two validators come online. One has been here for a while under a different name, Lumina, and it is now turned to a BitGet validator, or BitGo, sorry, validator. So that's very interesting. A institutional custodian partner of Coreum's for some time. So it is really interesting that they have flipped over to that one. Let me get back up here and show the bonded ones. There we go. All right. So currently, even though it's a 20,000 minimum to get on the validator set in the Coreum ecosystem, we have a full validator set, 64th position, 32,000 Coreum bonded. So that is the new minimum to come on the validator set. And you can see Cointelegraph is in 62nd on the list here. Cointelegraph, Decentralization Guardians. There you go. Say new validator. 38,200 bonded. And their commission is set at 18%. So it's a little on the high side there. There you go. And doesn't look like they can change it. No, current commission 18%, maximum commission 18%, max daily commission change rate is 0. So 18% fee on Cointelegraph. And Stratton Cormont was the other newer validator. I don't know if it'd still be listed as a new validator. Yeah, sure does. There you can see they have an X page for their contact. Good to see that. Coreum Labs is who we had on the Superledger podcast today. L1 was there. Cosmos Rescue, good community members there helping recover stolen funds. Core Values, they popped by the Superledger podcast today, said hello. Good community validator there. And let's go find BitGo. Where are they? They're ways up there, I believe. There we go. See BitGo. They got a 10% commission, max 20, max change 10 per day. Good to see. no website attached to that one. And as said, this validator was actually running under the name Lumina for some time until just recently it switched to BitGo. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Okay, so that is an update on the Coreum validator ecosystem. And we'll explain what happened best I can with the Coreum Community DAO validator. Looking at some questions here. Slot Savant, when I try to switch to another validator, it says I don't have enough balance to switch. Do you know how to fix that? Can't unstake or add any Coreum either. Have you left any Coreum to... I know some people have staked all their Coreum and didn't leave themselves any gas. Do you have any Coreum left for gas for the transaction? You need just a little sliver of Coreum for the gas. It sounds like that might be your problem. If not, let me know in the comments and we can sort that out. Okay, so going into the Coreum Community DAO validator, we don't have the official report from our service provider to understand fully what happened yet. So more on that will be coming. I'm hoping early tomorrow. This happened late night Friday, their local time. And with the weekend here, I'm expecting I'll get an update late tonight, hopefully tomorrow. And then once we know that, we can figure things out from there. We'll have a open space next week. Hopefully that we'll have a report by then and some further explanation of actually what went wrong. So what happened is the validator did what is called a double sign, and that is seen as potentially a malicious act on a blockchain. It means it tried to sign the same transaction twice. So what led to that is still what we need to learn. However, it did happen, and once that happens, it is a critical situation. And as we can see here, going to the Coreum white paper, when you stake on a proof of stake network, we earn rewards. So that part many of us understand, have got, but we expose ourselves to the risk of slashing. So this is the explanation from the white paper. As important as it is to incentivize the contribution of validators by rewarding them, it's important to punish them on certain occasions for bad behavior. This protocol is called slashing. The mechanism for slashing is taken directly from the Cosmos SDK module with the same name, and readers can refer to that for more details. But a general description will be provided here as well. Punishments related to slashing include disqualifying a validator from the community board, capturing or burning some of the validator stakes, or disabling a validator for a brief period of time. There are two main types of penalties when it comes to slashing. Jailing. The misbehaving validator is immediately put to jail, meaning they cannot participate in the next block's voting until some time has passed, and they unjail themselves by issuing a specific transaction. Number two, slashing. A percentage of the staked assets of the validator, alongside the delegators who delegated to that validator, will be deducted and burned. There are two types of misbehavior. Liveness misbehavior, i.e. not showing up to vote on blocks. Two, counterfactual signing misbehavior, example, double signing, rejecting a valid block, etc. The liveness of misbehavior is taken to be unintentional. In this case, the validator is slashed and put to jail to prevent it from taking part in consensus and being slashed again. After a defined period... what happened there? After a defined period of time, the maintainer may unjail the validator, bringing it back to the consensus process. On the other hand, the counterfactual signing is assumed to be a malicious one, meaning the validator is slashed much more aggressively, Moreover, this validator is tombstone, meaning it cannot rejoin the consensus anymore. So unfortunately, that is what happened to our validator. Again, haven't got the report from our provider to understand what led to that, why that happened, and more importantly, how we're going to protect ourselves from it happening again, ideally. But that is why we had to start up another Coreum community DAO validator. So thank you to all the community members that have redelegated and moved over or unbonded, and with the intention to move their delegator back to that one. We appreciate your support and confidence. Obviously, we are not here to create malicious acts to the blockchain. So that's definitely not what happened here, but definitely something went wrong. And we'll know more about that in the days ahead. So with that, anybody that wants to be part of that discussion, just head over to our Discord. That's where all the updates will be found there for that. All right. And going back to the questions from Slot Savant. Thanks. We'll see if that works. Yeah, just send a little bit of Coreum to that wallet. See if that helps you out. And should be on your way there. Okay, heading to Coreum. Coreum officials page related to the subject here, Coreum APR, what you need to know. What's changed? Block time is now faster, reduced from 1.7 seconds to 1.15 seconds. This results in a 48% more blocks produced per year. What didn't change? The blocks per year parameter in governance was not updated to match the new block speed. So the inflation rate stayed the same. What happened? Because blocks are produced faster, rewards are being distributed more frequently at the same inflation rate. This caused the APR to increase, currently showing about 40%. Some explorers and wallets show different APRs because some still use outdated governance parameters. Others show real-time data from the chain, accurate but higher than expected. What's next? The upcoming mainnet upgrade will officially update the blocks per year parameter to match the new block speed, adjust inflation to keep APR at the new higher level instead of bringing it back down. Oopsies. So what does this mean for you, stakers? The higher APR, around 40%, will stay after the upgrade. Tokenomics, inflation will increase to support the higher rewards. Why is this happening? The Coreum team has decided to keep the higher APR rather than revert to the previous rate. Stay tuned for more updates as we get closer to the upgrade. Got questions? Drop them in the comments or reach out to Artem, Coreum's developer relations manager. See if they had questions there. Max supply, it's inflationary, so there is no max supply. Macy and Foster says we recommend creating a proposal and providing the community with the opportunity to vote whether inflation should remain at its current level, be increased or decreased. Devon had some questions. All right. So yeah, some are questioning the inflation rate. I'm obviously just seeing it as the Coreum teams must be of the opinion that we need more circulating Coreum tokens. And, if you look at what happened with OHM today, that might be something to consider. What happened there is a lot of tokens staked, 70+%, I think, locked up, leaving not too many tokens liquid. And if somebody tries to dump or move a lot of tokens in a hurry, there's not enough liquidity in exchanges to handle that, leading to some of these liquidations potentially. So anyways, I'm sure the Coreum team has definitely employed the skills or has the skills to run the tokenomics and determine for the use cases that are coming up that the supply should increase. Now, as transactions become more prevalent on the blockchain, Coreum has got an algorithm where it takes the transaction fees into consideration and auto adjusts the inflation. So should the use increase significantly, it self adjusts based on the amount of staked Coreum and the amount of fees it's collecting. So with the DEX going live soon, it's going to be interesting because each trade requires a reserve of 10 Coreum. So it's going to require a lot of Coreum just to be locked up just to fulfill to populate the order book. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's a brilliant use case for the token. All right, and then going back to the questions. Jayendra, can there be more than 64 validators? I add a validator with 100K Coreum. What happens? Will this new be added? What happens to the current 64th one? No, that's a great question. For that, let's go back to the validator list. And I'll open up. This is a great tool, by the way. Smart Stake Analytics page. They have a validator on Coreum and many other ecosystems, but they provide this tool here. So if you go to all 95 validators, there's probably some that have just been pushed out of the active set. And I say that because now the minimum's 32,000 locked up. All right, so you can see shutting down this this validator's been shut down. There's still 2.7 million tokens locked up on it. Gold Squad is shut down, sunsetting. Blackhawks, so that was one of the recent ones. It's unbonding. 31K. Coreum Creations is unbonded. So yeah, it doesn't look like there's any on standby. Yeah, they're all unbonded. So basically what would happen is if you were, as you mentioned, put a validator on here with 100 Coreum locked up, that would get you into the 62nd position, and therefore it would put Lunar Space just outside of the active set. So their validator would still be there, but it wouldn't be in the active set, wouldn't be earning any rewards or fees. So then if a validator dropped offline, it would open that space up and it could effectively pop back on to the active set that way, or increase their delegation to get them back in the active set just higher than the 64. So great question. And if you have any questions about running a validator, please reach out. Happy to help any way we can with that. Okay, as I mentioned at the start there, Coreum has had a partner with BitGo for quite some time. As you can see, this announcement here goes back to December 10th, 2024. Coreum staking is officially live on BitGo's retail platform. Leveraging the same trusted infrastructure, protecting billions in digital assets, users can now stake Coreum and earn rewards while securing the network. Go to bitgo.com. So that was a significant partnership there. So it's just interesting, after all this time has passed, regulatory tailwinds behind us, BitGo's name is now live on the Coreum validator set. So powerful stuff. As you can see here, products that they have: qualified custody, self-custody, wallets as a service. They got prime services for trading, financing, collateral management, wealth management. Their Go network, off-exchange settlement, delivery and payment, fiat and stablecoin support, real-world assets, real-world asset custody, staking services, Bitcoin staking, restaking, token management, listing services, stablecoins as a service. As you can see, they are a big name in the space, and big deal that they are validating on the Coreum network. The other one, shared by Macy and Foster here earlier today, a warm welcome to Cointelegraph as a new validator on Coreum. It's great to have you on board, Cointelegraph. And as you can see here, Cointelegraph came online. They've moved up a couple positions already. And why is that significant? Cointelegraph, if you don't know, you aren't reading much Web3 news on social media because they are one of the leaders in the space, a leader in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and blockchain news. 2.6 million followers. So it's a big deal. Got a pretty big audience. And it was just last week, April 2nd, I guess, they put out a pretty good article and rundown on Coreum, how a 7,000 transaction per second blockchain is shaping the future of regulated finance. So it was a really good article that they did, and a great deep dive that could be linked off of this article also. And you can see they did a comparison of layer 1 blockchain networks, Coreum, consensus, Tendermint-based proof of stake, 1.2 seconds, 7,000 transactions per second. You can see Ethereum post-merge, proof of stake chain, 12 seconds block time, 15 to 20 transactions per second. And I've always said, Coreum being the next Ethereum, it's got all the tools to do it. Long road ahead to get to that point, though. Tron, delegated proof of stake, 3 seconds, 2,500 plus. EOS, 4,000 plus, half a second. Cardano, 20 seconds per block, 250 transactions per second. Cosmos Hub, Tendermint is 5 to 6 seconds and 1,000 plus transactions per second. Polkadot, 6 seconds. And Solana, there's the fast one, proof of history and proof of stake, 400 to 800 milliseconds, 60,000 plus transactions, theoretically. We had a great conversation with L1 today. He just recently participated in the hackathon, built a prediction market app on Solana well there, and it's going to be integrated into his cruise control product that he was talking about there. So very interesting stuff. There is a sign up sheet for that cruise control account. He opened it up to 200 initially. It filled up really fast. He went to 500, filled it again, has expanded it to 1,000 early bird sign ups there. So get over there if you have not already, because it's open up to the other blockchain ecosystems too. So back to the article here from Cointelegraph, decentralized exchange and institutional trading infrastructure. While many layer 1 blockchains rely on liquidity pools, Coreum features a built-in on-chain order book. There are important differences between the models. Coreum's order book DEX allows for deterministic trade execution with minimal slippage, which makes it well-suited for institutional trading strategies. In contrast, AMM-based DEXs rely on liquidity pools that sometimes lead to price inefficiencies and higher exposure to impermanent loss. So I'm not going to go through this whole article, but a lot of valuable information there. Link to the full report here. If you haven't checked it out, encourage you to do so. Why is this all important now? Solotex, if you haven't heard, just this past week, April 8th, Hello World from Solotex. For those of you that have not heard of Solotex, let's take a listen here.
Hey everyone, Mike McCluskey here. I'm on Wall Street in New York City, the epicenter of traditional financial services in the entire world. And our team has been here for the week for some meetings and events, and wanted to take this opportunity to announce a major partnership and joint venture that we're going to be launching with a company called Texture Capital. Texture Capital is one of the few broker dealers in the United States that's both licensed and approved by FINRA and the SEC to tokenize and trade digital assets. This gives our company a clear path to tokenizing stocks and ETFs for both retail and institutional investors, and puts us in a position to be the premier tokenization leader in the entire world. So we'll keep you updated with other announcements and updates in the coming weeks and months, and we're excited to get started.
All right, so there's a quick intro to Solotex, and that's why it was relevant that Texture Capital's Richard Johnson, who partnered with Sologenic for Solotex, was at the SEC roundtable. And I'll just play this clip again, showed it at the start, but it's an important one based on that.
And the way that we get there, or the way we start to get there, is let's use the blockchain as the official record of ownership for securities. Let's use smart contracts for settlement. And let's use stable coins or tokenized treasuries for the cash leg of security settlements as well. There's three.
So as you can imagine, Coreum, Solotex are going to take care of quite a bit of that process on an industry that is expected to handle trillions. And this was from the space they did just recently, where they explain they plan to have public stocks and ETFs available for trading on Solotex day one. Here it is.
Where things are headed. And I also think in terms of revenue for our business, it's going to be extremely positive. That's going to open up a lot of doors in terms of other partnerships. And so, yeah, happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, no, that's really exciting. And just, one more thing on the long term, because I think I heard you mention it earlier, just talking about, being able, to tokenize some of these more, financial vehicles like ETFs, things like that. I don't know how much you can say, but are those things going to be ready on day one at the launch, or is that still kind of that further on long-term vision?
We want to provide access to all public stocks and ETFs on day one.
Where things are headed.
There you go.
I also
You heard it there, day one. And they were talking about that being live this summer. All right, as mentioned, today we had L1 on the Superledger podcast, where he expanded on the Join Cruise Control X account. He says, today I'm excited to announce the launch of a new company, Join Cruise Control, the self-custody super app. Our mission is clear: bring the next 100 million users on chain by building the world's best DeFi interface. You can register now at cruisecontrol.com. This is what it looks like. And you could join the wait list. Here's maybe a little peek at what that all might look like moving forward. And there is going to be tokens involved with this project. Cruise Control token was hinted at during the podcast today. So make sure you join the wait list there. Only takes a minute and may help you get on that incentivized testnet. And that is good for Coreum, XRP, Solana, or Ethereum addresses. All right, and for those of you who don't know, there's Coreum Labs. And if I can explain it in this way, it would be, if you can imagine what the Zalman wallet or the Zum wallet does for the XRPL, this is what Coreum Labs plans to do for the Coreum ecosystem. Powerful tools. All right, and Coreum Community DAO teammate, most trusted co-host of the Superledger podcast, Articulate, has launched his Articulate TV, music, and Web3 channel on omniflix.tv. He has been streaming for over 24 hours. It's a mix of his music, Web3 conversations, some of which including myself and other spaces and conversations he's had in the Web3 ecosystem, speaking at NFT NYC again this year. Encourage you to head over to omniflix.tv, give him a follow and a listen there. We can maybe peek in on what that looks like here.
In a them time that you
There
have
we
to
go.
move stealth, take care of business, improve your health. Money is riches, but
There you go. Turn that down a little bit. But yeah, this has been streaming.
wealth. True friends will have to find, so me have to protect my peace of mind. System by design, who gets to decide? True friends will have to find, so me have to protect my peace of mind. System by design, who gets to decide? Peace worth more than 10 Bitcoins. Life is a journey, destiny, me going. It no make no sense to bag of vanity, me showing. Wait, anti-gravity, me flowing. True friends will have to find, so me have to protect my peace of mind. System by design, who gets to decide?
Oh, there you go. I stressed it out. But that's omniflix.tv. You can find Articulate. It's music and now streaming 24/7. And it's just one demonstration of the power of the OmniFlix media node. Coreum Community DAO will be utilizing similarly 24-hour, 7 days a week content for all things Web3. Really excited to use these tools soon. All right, that's going to wrap things up for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. As mentioned, I want to keep up to date with Coreum Community DAO and Validator. Head to our Discord or Telegram. I see the question is, what is your Discord? You can find that in the link of my bio. My web3.me link. Discord is right there. Omniflix, Spotify. I haven't updated much on Spotify lately. Just been a time issue there. Thank you, everybody, for your support. If I've left you some value here today in exchange, please hit that like, share button. We'll be back next Sunday on the Superledger podcast, 12 p.m. Pacific, with the Coreum Community DAO Town Hall. Hopefully update on the Validator situation. If you need to learn more about that, please hit our Discord, Telegram. We'll close out with some AI Superledger music. Peace and prosperity to you all. Have a good night.
Interview so fresh, got your second guess. Crypto dreams, tech supreme, New Orleans beam, living a stream. Super ledger in your hand, crystal clear. Every interview bringing pioneers here from the bayou to the big tech crew. Tuned in, we got the know-how flowing through. Chris dropping jewels, all steady fuel. Feeding minds, alchemy on rewind. Decentralized chatter, community matter. Web3 staircase, climbing the ladder. Ideas like Dumbo, thick and rich. Podcast shift, no easy hitch. Smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack. Super legend in your ear, crystal clear. Every interview bringing pioneers here from the bayou to the big tech group. Tune in, we got the know-how flowing through. From the heart of the Crescent City, where the rhythms get gritty. Chris and Arctic on a journey, staying pretty. Super Legend Podcast, your weekly blast. Community vibes, never choosing last. We're through hustlers, blockchain busters. Interviews so fresh, got your second guess. Crypto dreams, tech supreme. New Orleans beam, living the stream. Super Legend in your ear, crystal clear. Every interview bringing pioneers here from the bayou to the big tech group. Tune in, we got the know-how flowing through. Chris dropping jewels, Arctic steady fuel, feeding lines, alchemy on rewind, decentralized chatter, community matter, Web3 staircase climbing the ladder. Ideas like gumbo, thick and rich, podcast shift, no easy hitch, smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack. Ideas like gumbo, thick and rich, podcast shift, no easy hitch, smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack. Ideas like gumbo, thick and rich, podcast shift, no easy hitch, smart contracts, digital tracks, building the future, ain't cutting no slack.